And once again, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Top of the Valley Spring 2026 Finals. Up next is Darren Morgan versus Brian Geegan. Darren 485 Fargo, Brian 459 Fargo. Sponsored by Salado, EvoSports, and of course, Distinguished Billiards, Gregory Jensen. Thank you all for making this a possibility. My name is Tavo. Octaviano Borrego, my full name. I go by Tavo. Everybody knows me by Tavo. And yeah, we this is our second match of the day. Brian Geegan winning the first match against Greg Jensen 5-2 in a race to 5. We'll check the player cam and see. There they are, Brian and Darren, surely setting up their Salado apps to record the results of the wins and losses and match in general for input into the Fargo rating system. Winner of this tournament gets to take the coveted Distinguished Billiards belt home today. They also get the opportunity to sign it and put their signature, their stamp on the belt. Quite the honor. I've had the honor myself, one session. Lost it to Mr. Jason Fick, top shooter of the Valley right now. Neither of us were able to participate in this session, but rest assured, I'm sure I speak for him when I say we both plan on coming back. Darren Morgan at the table here, setting up the lag. Looks like Darren Morgan is shooting with a STL 15 Sean. Not familiar with that cue, but both shooters settling in, getting ready. Looks like Greg Jensen might be joining the commentary here. Maybe.
All right, can you hear me now, Tavo?
All right, and Darren Morgan placing the Salado towel on the table, indicating the players are going to take a short break. So we'll be back in a few minutes, folks.
Apparently, you cannot hear me yet, which is fine.
Yeah, what's up?
All right, welcome back, folks. Looks like the players are settling in, getting ready to start the second match of this Top of the Valley Spring Finals tournament. Darren Morgan, Brian Geoghegan setting up for the lag. Darren Morgan on your left-hand side there. And here we go, folks. Darren wins the lag, and away we go. Looks like they were having a little bit of technical difficulty setting up the Solato match on their apps. Okay, Darren, breaking rack one. The game is 10 ball, no early tens. 3 foul rule is in effect. Comes up dry, but doesn't leave Brian much of a shot here. Darren wiping away the Solato template. And now Brian looking at a possible push.
To the
Possible
one
push
ball.
out here.
Yeah. Can you hear me now, Tavo? Apparently, you still cannot
Let's
hear
see
me,
how,
Tavo.
see how Brian handles this.
Oh. Well, it looks like I'm showing up on the chat as I'm speaking, but Tavo is not responding to me. So I'm not sure he can hear me.
Greg, I see you trying to get on the chat here. Are you, can you hear me okay?
Here, I'm going to chat into the YouTube. I'm talking. I
I
can hear
cannot
you.
hear you.
Everything that I see is working fine. My mic shows
And
that it
now
has volume.
Greg and I having a little bit of trouble here getting each other to hear. He can hear me, but I cannot hear him.
My mic shows output on the mic.
I'm going to mute my microphone for just a second.
I'm gonna check YouTube here. Well, it looks like I'm showing up on this chat All right, so it looks like I am in place on YouTube.
Hi, Greg. Yes, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Okay, great. Yeah, because I checked the YouTube stream on my phone, and it showed that when I listened to it, I could hear myself. So that was
Yeah,
weird.
I checked that too, and it turned out I had my speaker turned off, but my mic was on. So
Oh, I see. Okay,
so now,
now we're caught up.
yes,
All right. So Darren Murray at the table,
yes, sir.
trying for a thin cut angle there, not quite getting there, dropping the 10 and hiding it behind the 8 ball. Is that an option situation at that point?
Let's see. I lost track for a second trying to figure out my
Oh,
speaker.
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. We just had
Um,
some things to work through there.
okay, but wow, that cue ball's buried.
It is very, yeah, it is very buried.
And it looks like they're on the three. Darren's on the three.
Yeah, it is an option in Geo and Brian GEOGHEGAN, but I call him Geo. Geo gave it back.
Oh, I've been pronouncing his name wrong. I do apologize. I thought
It's
it was.
yeah.
I
You
thought it
thought it
was.
was what?
I thought it was Brian Geegan.
Oh no, that is correct. I think that is correct, but
Oh, okay. Geo.
pronunciation is not always my strong suit on some of these names, and I'll admit that right out of the gate. So it took a little bit of time for me to. Just like your last name, took me a little time, your full name, to get it correct. And it's not a disrespect thing. It's just
Oh
we
no,
are
not at
humans,
all.
right?
No, not at
We're
all.
doing
No,
human
it's
things.
exactly. Well,
All right.
Darren
So,
buried as such, giving up ball in hand for Brian here. And is that the four near the right pocket?
ooh,
Oh man,
yeah, I think it is. But however, we have a 3 ball that didn't quite get into the pocket.
that is correct. So that means the eight
And
ball is kind of obstructing the shape on the four. Darren's going to have to do something tricky here, which he does. He draws back and gets there. Wow,
he does. Well
that's a
done.
good draw.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's a huge draw.
I was faced with some of these scenarios against Brian, and I really did not perform well. Just by
Yeah, I
nature.
struggled a little bit there. Miss a couple of
Yeah.
uncharacteristic shots that you just you normally make them, and it happens to the best of us. I mean, you know, I still struggle. I still struggle with that all the time, and it's you just kind of walk away scratching your head like, how did I miss that?
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. But at the end of the day, I understand what the issue. It's just a focus issue, and just not finding a gear, finding a way to bear down and just really just calm yourself into the focus moments. And
Hmm.
I just wasn't doing that well, and that's on me. That has nothing with Brian. Brian was making his shots, getting what he needed at times, and then when he did miss it, it wasn't a roll problem. It was an execution problem by me, and I accept that. I now will work on it like I do every day.
We all do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm content with it. I'm fine with it. No, not upset. Not any. I'm indifferent about it, other than just understanding. It's just just finding that better venue or avenue to just open up a gear. It's simple. It's a simple problem with a simple answer. You just got to put in the work.
Well, that's a great outlook, Greg, and that's it's a tough thing to learn to do. When you first start out and you're not familiar with how to handle these situations. Your mental game can be really just hard to recover from that kind of stuff. But when you start to look at it from your perspective, then you just realize what you need to work on and what to do better next time, and just keep pushing forward.
Oh, absolutely. And here Brian's going to deliver a safety, but it doesn't quite get safe. And I was really just want to talk about what he was doing there, but then go back to just discussing being a pool player, that we all have goals, right?
Mhm.
Or
Oh yeah.
hopefully we have goals. And I have a very tough goal to me. But my goal is to be, like a 700 level player. That's what my time can amount to the best what I can probably get to. I can maybe get higher, maybe not. I don't know. But however, it's learning the steps,
Yeah.
what it takes to get there, and it's a multi-year commitment every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
And off the table versus today, what everyone saw against me with Brian, it's like a night and day difference what I'm doing when this didn't show up today. I didn't show up today, and I have to figure that out
Well, it's not over
because
yet for you, my friend. So
what's
just
that?
it's not over for you yet, my friend. So just just regroup
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
refocus for the next match.
I am focused. I'm content, and I am ready. And that's
Excellent.
it's all in front of me. It's all in front of me. You just keep doing the work. It's all in front of me, and it's just one of those things of because we have the one person to talk about that we battle with, which would be Jason Fick, and like I'm right there, like in the off time, me and Jason are just kind of right there battling back and forth with one mistake. Who's making the one mistake
Mhm.
more, me or him?
Yeah.
And we're doing that wonderfully. But then I show up here today and just can't even produce solid outs, and that's a me problem.
Yeah.
But that's cool, and I
Yeah.
wanted to say these things just to talk about that. That's a thing you have to work through. You have to understand and grow and figure out why today this is a problem that wasn't a problem 4 hours ago when before this started, or
Do you
or 2 days ago.
right, right. Do you review the tape afterwards? Like do you go back and watch your
I do.
matches?
I
Okay, cool.
often do. Me and my wife will watch them together and talk
Oh,
about it.
nice. Nice.
But oftentimes knowing and doing are two different things.
Right.
But yeah. So Brian here's got this thing kind of this nine ball, and we should be focused on these players here, not me or you as
Right.
commentators. But I like the thin back angle here where you spin the ball and let the ball loose a little bit, and it shapes the 10 down table really nicely. What do you think about that?
I like that option, and because this option is a little harder
Can sell out.
and can sell out. Yes.
Yeah. But I think the angle was pretty solid and foundational there for Brian to where he could come forward with the ball, come off by between the second and third diamond, high up on the left on the long rail, and shape the 10 and pop that ball. Do you agree with that, or am I just being a little obtuse?
No, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And now Darren
Darren,
here, getting ready to take down game one here.
yeah, well, good job there, Darren. Yeah,
Yeah.
but, they should be out there using Solado, I believe. A couple of hiccups with Solado, but still working well on the loading factors and some of the alignments. Earlier for me and Brian, that's when you saw us off to the side there, where it was like, "Whoa, it's taking a bit for this match going." We were trying to get Solado to align,
Ah, okay.
despite the fact that we had two phones connected to high speed internet, because obviously I have that as a strictly.
I had technical difficulties in the middle of your match. My internet dropped out for no apparent reason. I had to reset my router and everything
Oh
came back
wow,
up. But there is a gap in the commentary there.
okay.
So apologies for that.
Well, you know what? I showed up in here, and last night I came into the Diamond Inn commentary booth room and set up all my stuff, and it's like, okay, just dial in, go in here with the headphones, and turn them on. It works because it usually does, and we saw what happened with that. Although it was going to the stream, you couldn't hear it because maybe I guess it's your speaker wasn't turned on. But yeah, situations happen. There's human situational rates between people and or technology, right?
Absolutely.
So Brian Gahegan at the table there, checking out his, doing his rack with the Solano rack. We're still using those here at the Diamond in those Solano racks, and yeah, they're holding up well.
Yeah, I like those, and I like that they're just a little bit thicker than some of the ones I'm used to, which lends to less of the wrinkling and the um, just sliding of the template during the break, or even if you end up with balls still on the template. It just seems like a sturdier, more, I don't know, stable template in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say too. Is it's like they don't slide, like so those thinner ones, those just Amazon sort of
Right.
various ones. They're very thin and they're that really glossy, very viscous material. And so when you
Yes.
break, they slide out a little bit, and your brake doesn't gain traction on the table and doesn't break correctly.
Yeah.
And for people that don't understand that may be watching, once you get past all the shooting and many things, the brake becomes very important.
Oh yeah.
Consistency on the break is key. I was myself previously working on. I was using the pot the one ball on the side break and take the medicine on the two ball. But I switched up about a month ago to the Shane Van Boning style break, where you come up two diamonds to the center of the table. Here, I'll put a. Let me get something out here. So I'll talk about this thing here. So you come up like right here, a
Mm,
little to the left, but but
okay.
but but let me move that over and get it. You come up right here with your break, right between these two diamonds, and then you come up. Let me line drawing up here for some people. You come up across the head string line, and
Hmm.
you set the ball right here,
Uh-huh.
and you aim it dead center, but you're pop breaking it. And for those that don't understand what that means, is you're putting cue elevation to the rear of the cue. So you're lining up dead straight, but you're elevating up on the rear of the cue, and you're getting a feel for it. It's like a draw stroke that's hit high, and
Hmm.
when you hit that break, you're squatting the cue ball. You're trying to squat the cue ball in here, in
Yes.
this zone of the table. But however, the balls right behind the head ball go in these pockets, this direction.
Mm,
And if you do it well, the one ball ends up going this way. And
okay.
then so you're about where Brian is here on his hit, and your one ball's down here. And now you control the table if you do it well.
Yeah,
So
I know exactly what you're talking about. The Shane Van Boning break, and he's got one of the best, if not the best, in the business.
for 10 ball, yes.
So now Darren at the table now with a window on the one and a decent opportunity to shape the two as well. Maybe stun over towards that right rail, just above the side pocket, just like that. Oh, but
It didn't quite stay down there for that shot. So
yeah, I was noticing that too.
so here's where here's if I don't know if you know these players the way I know them. Tom, I don't think you do, but I do know these players, both of them, very well.
You know
So
them better
Dar
than I do, but yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this is actually another good match where Darren's the gunslinger. He's
Uh,
going to Wyatt Earp everything, and that one extra ball somewhere in the middle where you're like, no, he's going to go for it every time. 90% of the time, he's
okay.
going for it if it's there.
Yeah.
Whereas Brian, he's going to be two balls behind that in that table control or keep the table slow situation where he's going to safety. So
Hmm.
that's the match we're looking at, and and I'm that one ball less than Darren Gunslinger. So I'm one ball less gunslinger than Darren. Use your skills otherwise, in my opinion. So that's what we're looking at between these two
Nice
players.
shot.
But Darren can make that extra ball high percentage
Ah,
when he finds his gear. So that's what I'm interested to see that we're looking at watching this match. How well can Darren find that extra ball gear versus how well can Brian keep him from getting to that ball?
yeah. Oftentimes I see players, especially like if you're the lower rated player of the match, I've seen players sort of try to match the higher player's speed and techniques. So like if you're saying if Darren's the gunslinger, I've seen you know an opponent turn into the gunslinger just to kind of match their opponent's rhythm and forgetting to just play your own game. Just you do you, and don't let your opponent dictate your pace, your speed, your strategy. Um, because I used to do that in the early years. I when I play the better players, I try to like match their skill level, match what they're doing, and of course it was in an attempt to play like them because they were better and try to learn how to play like them. But in the end, you I think what I've realized is every pool player goes through their own journey and develops their own set of skills and style, and that's what you should develop.
100%. We have an example of that as a local player from Ferndale, Jason Heacock. Do you know Jason Heacock?
I don't believe I do.
Okay, so yeah, he's like his Fargo's like 520, but he can play with his brain at such a high level that 600 level players can struggle to beat him.
Mm,
And he's not saying like he's doing nothing wrong. He can make the mistakes just the same too, but there's just this thing he has. His competitive edge is just better than yours.
mm. Interesting. Well, maybe I'll get to play him someday.
You know what? He would probably play you on the Dibs Let's Go thing for the base level.
Oh,
I
oh,
could set that up.
let's do it. I'd love
That
to.
would that would that would actually be a great matchup between you and him because that would interesting little factor showed up there between us for that be a match. That would be good.
Yeah.
It would be his win versus your technique because your technique is solid.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's a work in progress, but yeah, that sounds like fun. Let's set it up.
I like it.
All right,
I
Brian,
will.
giving up control for the moment, and Darren going off the rail.
So yeah, so talking about Darren Morey a little bit here. So a lot of us players have went to the one pocket little world there. I know I myself am a big one pocket player. Jason Fick, our local, top of the valley winner, and I mean I think you've done it so too. Darren Morey, they'll stay with the straight bull. Darren loves the straight bull. And, straight pull being that you rack a standard 8 ball rack, no ball order matters. Break,
Right.
run out, leave the last ball on the table, re-rack with a head ball, break the balls
Yes.
out, and keep going. And he's saying he's getting in the 30s or so on his straight pull,
Oh, okay.
which
Very good.
isn't anything massive, but it's good. It's hard to get to that level just to start. And his
Yeah.
table, he has a Brunswick Gold Crown at his house. I forget what level it is. I think it's like a 3 or 4 from the 70s. But he's got these like 4 1/4 pockets that are very tight. So he's getting these ball numbers on those pockets for straight ball. And that's respectable.
Well, yeah. I did have the pleasure of meeting Darren, and we played a match last session or a couple sessions ago. Um, and he really impressed me. He just came out swinging, like you said. He just relentless.
Oh, he
Just
is.
yeah, and taking the big risk, big reward shots, and getting paid off for it. Getting rewarded for it, and so yeah, I imagine a lot of that is from having that table and the table helping him tune in his game there. And as
Ooh.
and as I say that, it's like what is that called? The commentator curse. Like you're giving somebody a compliment for doing something, and then they scratch. Yeah.
I think so, but I don't think that was enough to put a check mark beside your commentator name. So you got to write that one. I think without a curse, but yeah, absolutely, that is a thing, or we call it a thing as commentator.
Yeah.
That's so. But Darren also, through conversations I've had with him, very experienced poker player, like Texas Hold'em, this and
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
But not a tournament poker player. He's heads up. He wants
Mm,
that edge of the sword action.
yeah. There's a little bit of like poker, I don't know, psychology maybe that spills over into pool. Sometimes
Hmm.
I think, you can tell, you know, when your opponent is on tilt, for example, and you can take advantage of that. Like I've been in tournaments where, I can sense my opponent is frustrated. And so, I don't know, maybe I'm, maybe I'm not, maybe it's wrong to do this, but I will take advantage of that frustration
No, it's
and try to frustrate them even more by maybe continuing to safe or just not letting them at the table and then just forcing them to make those mistakes on their own.
well, that's just the competitive edge. It's not a game of
Uh-oh, seem to have lost Greg for a second there. Oh, and we're gonna call that a foul. Little miscue by Darren. And I'm unclear on the rule if Brian has the option to re-rack or it's just an automatic foul. And then this is where the three foul opportunity becomes huge because your opponent's already on one. You can easily save for a second foul. And if you play your cards right, you'll get ball in hand for yet another foul and win you the game.
sorry, I left. I went to do digital pool and it moved me away. So
Oh, no, it's okay. So Darren uh, fouled on the break. Brian attempting to put Darren on two fouls, but Darren making a good kick on the one there and giving Brian a look at the one now. So a good escape by Darren. You can see Brian tapping his big right toe, trying to figure out what to do here. Oh man, that was a good save. Whew. Ends up absolutely locking Darren Morgan up. There's a two rail escape here, which I see Darren going for. Two or three rails. Oh, he gets it. Nice hit. Oh my goodness. Another great escape by Darren Morgan. And Brian just wondering, what do I got to do to foul this guy? I see another safety attempt, maybe barely hitting the one on the left side and nudging it to the right and sending the cue ball up table. Well, let's see how this turns out. Hmm, not quite safe. And now Darren might be looking at doing a counter safe here. Can you hear those?
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine. I'm trying to figure out. I'm new to using digital pool, so I'm
Oh,
trying
I
to figure
see.
out how to score between Brian and Darren.
Gotcha.
Have you used digital pool very much?
I've used it to in during tournaments in the past, just to kind of track my matches and where I need to be and whatnot. But I've never actually used it or been an admin for it or anything like that. I've never set it up or anything. Just
Yeah, we're not using it to go to Fargo because we're using it just for the tournament, and then we're using Salado to go to Fargo. So it's a little bit outside the norm,
hmm
and so that's where I'm trying to figure out the
right.
uh, the next step to get the points in there correctly for the
No
player.
worries.
So yeah, you're
Well, this layout started off pretty clustered, but now the balls are starting to open up a little bit. Players are now starting to navigate around the balls and the table. Nice shot by Brian, shaping the two perfect. And it looks like the three does go in the bottom right, and so just a slight bounce off that left cushion should get him there with a little bottom. Or that. Yeah, that works too. Four ball down here at the bottom of the table. Brian might want to get on the short side of this four, considering how straight he is on the three now. That is, if it goes, I do believe it goes. It's hard to tell from this angle. Oh, he was trying to force follow the cue ball into the four. And now looking at a thin cut. Seems like he's reaching for an extension. Now he could play the cue ball off the bottom cushion here and bounce back out and hit the seven out of the way, and that'll hopefully shake the five. Not quite. Tie match 1-1 and a race to five. Darren with a good kick, although he's left the four pretty makeable. 8 and 10 tied up. So we will see how that develops.
I'm reaching out to someone else I know that can maybe help me with digital pool for the match. Because yeah, it's just not intuitive for me at least at the moment. 1 second. What's that?
Do you have replay on that? Oh. Wait, we weren't sure. Where are you at? Whether something
Looks like there's a dispute
I
about the last shot here. I'm not sure quite what
I can find it on YouTube.
what the issue is, but we got Greg Jensen on the case looking to play the footage back.
There's a previous shot that they're concerned about, not if it's needs a replay, whether it hit a rail or not. Did you see that, Tabo?
Was it the kick on the four by Darren, the last shot?
I would think so, but I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to get to the stream on YouTube.
Yeah,
Uh,
it looked like I'm pretty sure it did. I didn't. I don't think I saw a foul there.
okay. Was it by Darren kick on the floor?
Yeah, I believe the cue ball hit the rail and then landed right there for the four.
What was it by Darren kick on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thomas, he's on.
Yeah, because the form was like this. Here, I'll get it up.
Yeah. Thomas says he thought the kick
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So they're going to play through it like it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. Okay.
I'm 99% sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tavo.
Yeah, sure.
We could go back and look, but yeah, there we are. So I normally have like my screen. I have like 4 screens up normally where I can see all that stuff. But the big
Mhm.
dog setup that I'm working on has all my screens elsewhere. So I just have one screen right now.
I've got like four.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
I
should
actually have
say,
I actually have 6 screens in my commentary booth, but
oh,
I normally have 3 to 4 going, so I can always go back and look at it,
yeah,
a second time for the YouTube stream because it has that delay. I just don't have that today. So
right.
normally I would just have that answer because I would just look at it and then they could walk in and say something. And I could just look back at it and go, "Yeah, that was good," or "No, that was bad." But today that was not the case.
Nice inside English shot by Darren Morgan there to get shape on the 6 ball. A slight draw should get him perfect on the 7, just like that. Nice shot. And
I'm
if
going to
he's
mute my mic for a moment here, Tavo. So I'll be
sure,
away.
Darren wants to stun this ball over here. Perfect. He is on the wrong side of this 8 ball to get on the 9, so let's see how he handles this. Oh, yeah. That was the that was the rub. Brutal. And now Brian with ball in hand, looking at a really nice table run out here. And I predict 8 ball there. Oh, 9 ball here, 10 ball here. Unless he doesn't like the 9 ball on the side there. Or unless he's going for a 3 foul again. Okay. Oh, I see. He fooled me there. Thought he was going to maybe try safe, but I guess he didn't like the 9 in the side. From here, it looks like it was a decent opportunity, but I'm not at the table. And so this is. That was a really good shot to get on that 9, and honestly, it's a easier pocket to go down to the corner anyway. So well played, Brian, floating the 10 into the lower right pocket for the win, and brings his score up to 2-1 against Darren Morgan. Brian seemingly settling in after that first match, showing a little bit more focus on the table, taking his time a little more, and improving his accuracy. right, Brian Geegan breaking rack 4 here on this Top of the Valley Spring 2026 final tournament. Smashes him. Huge spread, but no balls. Open table for DERON. Although, man, no look at the one. So I believe he's looking at a push out here. And he leaves a makeable angle for Brian. And I'm pretty sure Brian's going to take this shot. Two in the middle of the table. It's a little thin. He's got to be careful about scratching in the lower right. I'm sure he wanted to be a little straighter on this. Gonna have to let the cue ball a little loose and hopefully land on this 3 somehow. Oh, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get the window. Nice shot by Brian there. Hard to shape that 3 from there. And now Brian finally removing the template, the Salado template out of the way for a good look at the 3 here. 4 just above the 3 there, and so I think if Brian rolls this 3, the 4 will go in the right side pocket where he's standing. Rolled a little too much, but still cuttable. Decisions. Once again, measuring the tangent line. Looking at where the cue ball will travel after contact. And once again, faced with a tricky shot to shape the next ball. Now he might draw into the 5 and knock it out of there. Oh, just like that. Oh, just misses the 4. But yeah, I see that he saw the problem with the 5 and decided to attack the problem. I think for the most part, aggressiveness does pay off in pool. DERON with a near miss on the 4. Brian might be going off the rail here. Rail first? No, he could see it. Oh, look at that. And he's going to land beautifully on the 5. Giving him natural shape to come around for the 6 in the lower right pocket. 6 ball right here. Just going to go 3 rails around. Nice and easy.
All right.
Perfect. Lands a little bit long. Might decide to... Stun draw this back just a touch. Oops.
All right, Tavo, I've showed back up in the chat. It looks like Lawrence Shrimpton Jr. Pete, our local master admin, who's the admin for Top of the Valley.
Yes.
He set up the digital pool, and although I'm also included in the entire thing, for some reason I didn't have access to what it needed to be, so he got that
Oh,
fixed for
okay.
digital pool. Right
Yeah, I'm
there.
looking at one of my screens here, digital pool. I see that you're keeping score now. That's
Yeah.
looking good.
Now we have Vargo 007 saying that it's a foul to leave your cue on the table deemed to be a measuring device. Where are we at with that? What do you think about that?
I think when he put the cue down, he did it to grab his extension, not necessarily to measure. And I think in this format, I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, and even if he was using it as a measuring device, I don't know. It doesn't bother me. But if it is the rule, which I didn't realize that was a rule. I guess I better look out for that if I'm in a VCA format where they enforce that. But
Yeah.
I think these two players understand that they're not trying to cheat or anything. They're just getting their extension, to make their shot, and so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and this is an amateur pool league, kind of edging into semi-pro, but with a lot of just growth development in it, and so there's
Yeah.
some looseness of some of the rules for me personally, and I'm the one
Mhm.
that runs it, so it's loose until it doesn't make sense.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and I think I know some people like I don't agree with like putting the chalk on the table
Oh
where
no,
to
absolutely,
help to help you
100%
to help you aim and that kind of stuff. I think that is a
no
little bit
go. Yeah,
no go,
that's a no go. Yeah.
but if you're just putting your cue on the table to go grab your extension, that's
and and,
that's
and
not
that
this.
might be what's happened there. But yeah, and Brian does use his cue to measure his angles often, and that's kind of a same thing. And it depends on where you play because I feel like the if you play one side of the spectrum, like like BCA, or you're just an old school sort of player, you don't even do that. You just look at it and know. But
Yeah.
but if you're on the other side of the spectrum where you're APA, you've got coaches involved, you've got angles involved, and you're learning to develop the skills that the other players already kind of maybe have.
Hmm.
Whether they're good or bad at them, that's their problem, including mine. But that's just a tool you're using to develop your forward momentum, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the comment though, Varger 007. That's I didn't realize that was if that was a rule in like an actual BCA rule, but yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely look out for that because I know I've done that and I've never been called out for it. So
Yeah, and yeah, there's just a difference of players because it's not something I do as much because I look at the angle. I find the back edge of the angle through the ball, and then I find it then I'll usually put my Q-tip on it and then look at it and find where it intersects with the ball. Sometimes to find my spot or that
mhm.
edge that I want to start working with, and then once I find that, I just step away and then go forward into my shot. But there's other players, and like Jason Fick would be one of them to say his name again for apparently, where he does actually use his cue off of some of those angles oftentimes and finds what he wants through the rail or whatever, and then just remembers it and then goes and does it.
Well, I'm wondering if close shot there by Darren. Both players struggling to pocket the 10 ball here. But uh, back to Varder 007's comment. He says if you leave the cue on the table,
Yeah,
I think if you take your hands off and you rest your cue to try to measure, that's one thing. But if you still
yeah,
have your cue in your hand and you're just trying to get a visual of the tangent line or the path of the cue ball after contact, as long as that cue ball, as long as you're still holding onto your cue, I don't see how that's. I don't think that's a foul. But I think
Yeah,
he's
as long
saying that if you leave your cue and you take your hands off just to come around the table and look at something, then maybe that's a foul.
yeah, it could be where maybe you set your cue down on the angle and walk around and look backwards at your cue. Maybe
Hmm.
that's a foul, and yeah, absolutely, that
Yeah,
could
because I
be
think the comment came shortly after Brian just left the cue on the table to go grab his extension.
and
Not
yeah, and Brian does often do that. Brian does have a wraparound extension that he puts over his cue. So I think maybe that's what he did there. And if that's the case, then yeah, that's probably legal. It just looks illegal,
yeah,
or looks foolish, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, here we go. We'll start of the fifth rack five here. Brian up 3-1, and now looking at a decent one ball. And I think the two goes in the lower right. So excuse me, lower left. Seven looks to be in a little bit of trouble, and you know could possibly get moved or used for safety opportunity later. Let's see how this develops.
Yeah. Well, I'm not looking at Brian really, looking to excel at running the table. I'm looking at Brian looking to control the table, and then that's what he likes to do. So he's not going to gunsling very much unless he gets down.
Yeah,
And I have seen him though perform at a high level gunslinging when he was down. Down a
mhm,
few racks and had to. He's not consistent at it, but it's high enough that I just gotta give this man respect. On
sure.
I've had him down like 5 racks, and like I just need 2 racks to win. He's down 5, and all of a sudden he just doesn't miss.
Yeah. Well, he does seem a little bit more methodical, and even though maybe his intent isn't to run out necessarily, he as the rack develops and if the position goes his way, he does just continue to keep you know plugging away and making the next ball, shaping the next ball, and if he doesn't get there, then he's got the safety backup. But unfortunately,
Absolutely,
in
and he does
this
it well.
in this position, he hooked himself behind the eight and is now forced to kick at the two, which
And yeah, he misses well. He really does. I just have to give him props because he
gives the three.
this time he didn't do it, but commentary
Yeah,
curse, I guess. But
yeah.
he misses well. He really does.
Do you try to, Greg? Do you try to initiate a three foul here, considering this wall of balls over here? I mean, if you would you try to maybe send the two ball here and then park the cue ball behind the seven here?
Yes, I would absolutely. But here's the one thing is Darren's going for it because I would be over here in this
Mm,
line, right?
yeah.
I would actually that's the wrong line. Let me recorrect that. He potted the ball, but I would actually come in this way on that
Yeah.
old ball because I want the two to spin off. I want to hit it really thick with inside, or no,
Hmm.
without. I want to hit it really thick with outside because I want the cue ball to stall down to this ball.
Yeah.
Is how I feel about making that safety. How would you make that safety on that same outcome? Let's talk about
You're right. I would have probably put the cue ball more off this angle, and then
it. Uh-huh.
done a little follow and land behind the seven, and then send the two ball somewhere out here.
Yeah, because
Um,
because because I don't want to collide with this with the 5 ball. If that's the 5 ball, I want it to die into this angle
yes.
as as this ball goes here. As sorry here, as this ball goes here. I don't care as much about where this ball lands
Hmm.
because it's dead here.
Yes, yes.
But it's judging that and doing it very well. That's the part that's the skilled player zone where you understand how thin or thick, because to me it's hit it thick and thick and die, but another player might hit it thin and just let it loose and hit it so pocket speed soft. And I'm saying the word pocket speed for pool players where you understand how to control high level speed slowly.
Now, is Brian on two fouls now? Because this was the second shot in a row where he fouled. I don't know if Darren is aware of that or if he even, you know,
I'm not
commented
sure
on
either.
that. Because
I'm not sure either.
Darren didn't safety him, but he did make a couple balls, and then Brian ended up fouling.
Yeah.
And so I think he's on two, but I don't think he was called out on two.
I don't think he has been either, but I'm not surprised by that by Darren because Darren is going to work to win by attrition.
Yes, exactly. He's like, I don't even care if you're on two. I'm looking at the run out, and I see what you mean. He's a aggressive gunslinging, has an aggressive gunslinging style. He's looking to shape for the run out, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's depending on the layout of the table, I can play like that too. If I'm feeling comfortable at the time, and if I'm shooting well, I'll definitely play more aggressive. He might also be thinking, "Hey, I'm down. I got to make something happen here."
Yeah, Darren's not thinking that from how I know about him, but he's using the fact that he knows that he could run 30 balls fairly well at straight pull
Hmm.
to his favor here. He just knows I've got this. He's
Hmm.
just got to do it. He just has to do it well. He doesn't have to even do it great or good. He just has to do it well.
And here he is, poised to make the 10 for the win,
And,
and he does.
and then
Nice
this
shot.
is Darren we're looking at. This
Yes.
is what we expect to see from him rack after rack. And last weekend I think last weekend he was over here. He saw me doing a live stream, just a random match, just for Friday night fun. Because I will stream some random matches on Friday nights, which is Friday night fun. And um, he really went to work on me because we were playing win by five, and for three racks I did to do nothing. And then I got up to do I got one rack in and got out, and then the next rack he was out again. So well done, So he
Yeah.
can produce the numbers. And that table at his house, that I was talking about with the tight pockets that he plays on every day, is a 9 foot table. It's a 9 foot table with
Yes.
4 1/4 pockets.
Yeah, that's what I understand. I haven't. Have you been over there? I haven't been over there.
I have been over there as well as me and Jason Fick have been over there several times and played.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing's free. It's dead pocket or you get to see what happens because when me and Jason Fick have gone over there and played, we just do rotation nine ball just for fun, just so everyone we play basically gun shooter pool because me, Jason, and Darren are gun shooter players as it is for the
Hmm.
first, and then everything else second. And yeah, we were over there doing rotation nine ball, and you know, honest effort every time, no safeties, like a ring game.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, it's for real. It's not easy, and yeah, if you're shooting well, you get to keep playing. And if you're not, you don't get you get to rack for your opponent. And if you're playing a rotation game like nine ball for at that level, it's about not racking, just to be respectful to yourself, right?
Yeah.
We're not playing for money. We're just playing for bragging rights, and it's don't rack.
Okay, so Brian, Looks like scratching on the break here, turning the table back over to Darren. And we
A
got,
lot of traffic in the middle
yeah,
of the table, right?
I was just noticing that myself. But the three is in a position that could provide Darren a safety opportunity. I know he's not maybe looking at a safety necessarily, but
Oh,
with this layout, he might not have a choice here.
called a
Oh,
combo. Got a
see,
combo.
see, there, yeah, like you're saying, he's an aggressive player, and
He he is. It's an Aaron Rodgers situation we got here.
oh, and see now he played us the safe that I thought he was going to play the previous shot, which is I thought he was just going to send the three somewhere and then hide the cue ball, but he made a combo and then didn't open up as much as he wanted to, so he played the safe now instead.
Yeah. So he's buckling down here too against Brian, and Brian, having his work in front of him here. He's up one game, but he really has to make sure he controls the table against the effort that he's putting in, right?
Yeah. Oh, and not a bad result for Brian. Like you were saying earlier, he misses well. I noticed he kind of got a couple lucky rolls too after a few misses against you, and just left you in awkward positions here and there. Darren looking to cut this ball though. He likes this cut. Oh, but the cue ball. Oh, nearly scratches.
Yeah.
Nice shot there by Darren.
Yeah. See, in my match, I just failed to buckle down on the focus and the best way I can say it is the care those shots needed to complete. And as players, I just want to put that out there and just say that it's like, hey, I I know I didn't give it what it needed, and that's a me problem.
Hmm. Oh, wow. And just falls short of the shape for the five. I think the eight ball is in the way.
It is in the way. You can maybe see the edge of her kick at it, because here's the thing, Tavo. It's like, as you know, if you know the difference, it's one thing. If you don't know the difference, that's another thing.
Yeah.
I know the difference just like you do. So, and that's what you have to work through that.
What do you do here, Greg?
Well, there's a couple safety options, but do you be aggressive and try and make the 10 ball?
By kicking at the five and doing a
Yeah,
five
yeah,
ten combo?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's-
b- but you're going to counter spin that a bit much and let the ball loose so you can reshape the five, because you have to make sure you miss the 10 coming back to the table. So maybe we don't do that. But what if, look at this one here. Let me my draw tool up. What if we kick at the five, right? But we hit this edge of it,
Mhm.
push off the 10, the cue ball comes down here, and the 5 is going to hit the 8, and the 5 goes this way.
Yeah.
You might get away with that, but you might sell out if you hit it incorrectly. What do you see here?
I like them. I also see um, thinning the five this way, sending the cue ball here, and then maybe out here, and then maybe sending the five ball to the rail here,
Well,
just creating some kind of
if we look at
separation.
the distance the 5 travels, though, it's going to want to bounce to some degree,
Yeah.
and then you end up selling out over here, right?
Oh, but he hits the eight. I wonder
So
if
I don't know if
he's trying
I
to
don't know
jump.
if you do that, or how many players actually do that. But I measure the distance of speed timing it has to the ball,
Hmm.
the object ball, and then the distance I have to travel to get there, and then I measure speed after impact.
Hmm.
So-
Yeah, it's it's obviously different when you're actually standing over the shot, and what you see when you're there.
Oh, watch it! Watch! Oh, oh, oh!
They almost carry him into the side.
Yeah, he gets away with those a lot. Just it's that white herb thing, right? He's
Yeah.
gonna kill this thick, make the ball, and oh no, he didn't kill it thick. I thought he'd kill it thick and come across the table, but he decided to take the medicine on that thin angle. That's not too bad though. He's got great speed control for the 10. Ooh, he stood
Mm.
up. You gotta sit down. You gotta. I'm not trying to be judgmental. I do it just as bad, but you gotta sit down, right?
Yeah. Do you like the inside English on this and send the cue ball around for the 10?
I do. I like three rails on this
Yeah.
because you have to go this far and it speeds up. So if you hit the thin angle, I like how this rail kills the spin, and you
Hmm.
can end up over here. And if you short it, you still have a shot this way.
Well, it looks like that's what he's aiming for. Boom.
Wow, yeah, we got pretty close.
Just like you called it.
Yeah, yeah. He got better. He got even better because he got underneath the included angle. So
Yeah.
if that's the full angle, this way is the bad angle, and this way is the better angle. And he got there.
Yeah.
So not the bad angle. It's just the lower percentage angle because you have to hit the backside of the ball, and
Yeah.
it's always harder to judge the backside versus the front side. And
All
Brian
right.
goes up 4-2 against Darren in
Yeah.
this race. Here, look at this.
Brian settling in after that first match with you. It looks like he's getting warmed up a little bit.
Well, that's also the struggle with a rotation pool is you sell out.
Yeah.
The better you are, the more you sell out if you can't finish because you run. So like right now for me, I know my percentages because I'm a percentage player, and it's just like probably you. I know somewhere between the 7 and 10 ball, I sell out too much, which I just give games away
Hmm.
because my opponents are like you or like me. If you give me three balls, I'm going to likely get out.
Oh, and the cue ball somehow stays on the table after rattling out of the side pocket there. And now the one obstructed by the 5. So we
Versus
might.
go up 10 or 20%, you don't sell out now in skill level,
Hmm. Hmm.
and now, but now you're John Volman, right?
Right. Speaking of selling out, have you ever played 8 ball short rack?
I
It's
don't recall that I have.
so I played in a tournament last night where the B side was a race to 3, but it was 8 ball, but they call it a short rack, meaning you get 4 solids and 4 stripes. The 8 still goes in the center and it racks like a 9 ball diamond pattern.
No, I have never played that. What talk about? What do you think about it?
Well, the break is super important because if you
Oh
break
yeah,
dry, then then the balls are usually pretty well spread out, and so your opponent comes in after a dry break and they just have 4 balls to run, and then the 8, and then they're out. So
so you just bring your 9 ball break the wing ball in, right?
yes, you bring in your 9 ball break exactly. And that's what I was doing. So I was pocketing consistently on the break, but uh, again, it was you can sell out real easily in that game because even if you miss one shot, even if you make a ball in the break and then say you don't follow up with a shot, well then the table is just wide open, and it's man, it's a
Well,
brutal
yeah,
game. If you're not careful, it'll pinch you.
it's easy to tie up some. Yeah, it's easy to tie up a break or something like that, even with using your wing ball break, if unless you have a very controlled 9 ball break, which you should have. But
Hmm.
still, it's just yeah, it's something to think about. I'm gonna try that, in my practice routine now, just for fun. That's interesting. I like that concept.
Yeah, I'd never played it either, so it was kind of new for me. All right, well, Darren, forcing a kick after hooking himself on the 4, and now
We're back
Brian
in
at
the
the table looking at a combo. This combo though is gonna send the cue ball. I'm sorry, the 2 ball off this way, and then the cue ball off here. So the speed of the shot, he's gonna need to decide: does he want to follow up with a 2-9 combo after this, or Hmm, interesting. If he plays the speed right, then maybe the 2 lands here, and he can send the cue ball off in this direction. Oh, his aim suggests otherwise, though. Oh, that's clever. I would have never thought of that. But he tried to carry him into the 8, and I like that. I like that attempt.
All right, I'm back. I'm just gonna catch up here a little bit.
Oh, you're good. You missed a really good carom attempt by Brian.
All
I
right.
don't see too many players play it the way he did, but if when you play this back, which watch what he does with the 4, he let's see the let's see if I can recreate this here. The 2 ball was here, and the cue ball was here, and he struck the 2 ball, sending the 2 ball off in this direction, and then the cue ball caromed off the 2 towards the 8 and almost made it in. It was showing some Brian showing some creativity there.
Okay, nice. And I'm wondering if Ryan's not like delivering a version to Darren like he has to me, which I'm used to from him, and I can make adjustments for it. Whereas players that shoot like me or Darren, and sometimes maybe you, I don't know for sure. It's up to you to say you agree or not agree. But I'm looking at the leading edge of the ball, and when he misses, it somehow puts you on the back edge of the ball. So you have to work and work to get to the leading edge of the ball to start to get that positive momentum for the rack. If that's the best way to say it or not, I'm not sure. So maybe you have a different way
Yeah.
to say that or what I'm
Not,
saying.
not sure I understand what you're saying, but what do you mean by leading edge of the ball?
The the fast edge of the ball, just the way it naturally goes
Okay.
um to the pocket with forward momentum.
Oh, okay. I see what you
So
mean.
like here, so here it's flat here, right? So he has to push
Yeah.
through it, but now he's still flat. So now it has to have spin, or he's going to kick at it. But when you catch that positive momentum of how the ball's going to put itself to the pocket, it naturally wants to speed up, and so it's going to
Yeah.
naturally go to the pocket and naturally speed up, and
Yeah.
and then you can just manipulate that over and over again.
Hmm.
But when you get behind that edge, you have to now start seeing thicker versions of the ball or things like that.
Well, Darren looking really confident and comfortable at the table right now with a solid run out
Yeah, that
and a
was
little
it.
bit of a lucky bump on the 10 there. But all in all, really well put together out. So Darren goes up 3-4 against Brian.
So yeah, Darren's staying in it here for this race to five. One more takes it to the hill, but we'll see where they go here. Apparently, it must be Brian's break at this point.
Yes, Brian's breaking the even racks. This being rack 8.
So earlier too, we were watching the PGA Tour, Darren being a golfer and that sort of thing, and Brian not being someone into golf or competing at that other sport. Do you think that gives Darren any level of an advantage, Tavo?
I've asked golfers in the past if you know if pool translates into golf and vice versa, but I get the consensus that it's oranges and apples. Um,
Okay.
and so I'm not a golfer myself, and so I did dabble in it a long, long time ago. But I don't know. I I don't think it really does. I think it's just a totally different game. I mean, you still have a ball and you still have clubs and whatnot, but and you still have to spin the ball and cut the ball and all this. So, in some sense, it does have similar concepts, but they're applied in totally different ways. But I mean, you know more about golf than I do, so I don't know if that if that makes sense what I said or not.
Well, no, no. What I'm asking you that question too, then also to give further input into backwards with it, because I do know someone that was a PGA card holder, golfer, and a PGA level instructor
Ah,
that doesn't necessarily play pool like we do, and though he cannot beat me at pool, he almost can, and he is very good.
mm,
And he showed me articles about across his life about where he did ping pong and several other ball sports. And his version is that there are people that just understand ball sports in a way that you don't, and that they can just do it. And he said, "That's how I played golf." He's like, "I'm more like John Daly, where I just know."
mm,
And at pool, in playing pool against him, he's very good. You have to work very hard to not let him beat you.
mm.
But he knows how to make shots very well. He does not know how to jump or make safeties like we do and stuff. So I can just use my other skills to keep him from beating me. But when it comes to making a ball to a pocket, he is phenomenal. And
He's got that natural eye for it, huh?
yeah, and he showed me articles where he's been in the newspaper several times for ping pong and for basketball, and he showed me his old PGA card and everything just to be like, look, I'm not messing with you, man. I am that good, but not because of a certain thing. He says, I just understand what it takes to do ball sports well
Mm,
naturally. He says, I
yeah.
just get it.
Well, if
So so
from that perspective, I can see how that would then translate to multiple ball sports for that matter.
yeah,
Ping
and
pong.
I didn't know that was a thing until he was talking about it because he had I met him at work, where I work as on cars, but he was a salesman at the time. But we were talking about the pool stuff about pool, and he's just like, "Oh, I'll just beat you." I was like, "No, you won't." I was like, "Unless you play every day like I do, because I play 2 hours every day, you're not going to beat me." And then eventually it took a couple years, and then he came over to my house to get for me to replace a headlight in his car, his Cadillac, because he tried to do it and couldn't do it, and I was able to do it very easily because I've been doing it for 27 years. And I'm trying to brag; it's just what I do for a
Yeah,
job. But anyways, and then he's like, oh, "Okay," he's like, "That was awesome." He's like, "Let's see your skills at pool." And then he came in and we started playing. I was like, "This dude is actually good." And that's where he's like, "I don't play pool, but I understand ball sports very well."
yeah, yeah. He's got that foundation of knowledge, just the physics, of the the physics
Yeah,
of ball games. And I get that.
yeah. Yeah. He was telling me in high school that he had won these championships, and that he was once a ping pong. When he was like 14 years old, he won like an adult championship ping pong situation thing, and he brought the newspaper article in where he did. He showed me it, and I'm like, dude,
Hmm.
apparently that's a thing. So yeah, so it's just good information that does exist.
Brian with a great escape after a gnarly safety from Darren here.
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh, Darren missing a
and
little
the
bit of speed
yeah,
control timing there.
and the escape pays off, giving Darren a tricky cut on the four and resulting in a miss. And Brian back at the table. And now let's see if he can keep control, like you were saying earlier. I think you're right. That's more his speed right now. Is just methodical, stay in control, just try not to sell out and do anything detrimental.
Well, or like when I was playing Brian earlier, I was going back to playing him in some ways where because the total table positions I had were just not favorable. I didn't want to sell out late and do all the work.
Hmm.
So I was playing a little bit of back edge of go for it, but then hold up a bit so that you pressure Brian and put him on the back edge of the for me, I call it the back edge of the ball. Just the lower percentage edge of the ball,
Hmm.
so that he's going to just make a mistake and rattle something, and then I get it back. And I got one of them, and I scratched. I aimed that shot half ball and moved. That's on me. I was a little upset with myself when I scratched that ball because I shouldn't scratch that ball. But now I know next time I aim that ball ever again, I will I will edge it. I will aim the edge. I will not aim it half ball again.
Are you talking about
Because I
when you followed the 10 in?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I aim that half ball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
how bad I did that. I understand. I get it. That's how bad I executed that shot. I aim at half ball, but next time I will aim it edge ball, and because edge ball either misses and you missed, and that's fine. I'll take it. But if you hit it, it goes in and does not scratch.
Well, Brian, once again, looking at a decent table here.
Yes.
And I
All right.
now, does the 8 go past the 10 in the lower left here? That looks
Well,
like
here
it
I'm gonna.
is.
I would hold up off the rail, put the 9 in the corner, and just put the 8 in the opposite corner of the 10, and then put the 10 in the other corner. So hit this slow inside like he's doing now. Get the angle on the 10. I would use the rail to shape the 8. I'm not gonna try to hold. Oh, I see what you're saying because the nine's not next. Never mind. Yeah. Um. I'm I'm gonna overspeed it just a hair and take shape on the 8 ball like this. He did
Oh,
exactly what I would do.
he got a lucky little roll there on the or a little bump on the 9, and this
I
is
would not
bad.
use the 9. I would have not used the 9. I would have taken the thin angle on the 8 and
Hmm.
then used the rail to shape the 9. But because now the shape of the 9 gets a little more difficult because I think an experienced player, correct me here if I'm wrong, will come into this angle to hit the ball and then come back off the rail and shape the 9.
Yeah, that's what Jason would do. I think he
That's what Jason would
stun
do.
draws it.
Yeah, because the 10's in the way. That's what happens there. Exactly that. The
Hmm.
10, because it buries downhill. So even if he had made that, he's sitting over here, and that's a tough angle to get shape across to get back to the 8. You know?
Yeah, looks like he left a window, and Darren with great speed on this line and a great angle.
Yeah, 10 ball,
Gonna just
10
float the 9
going in.
ball.
Yeah, 10 ball
Yeah,
going in here. Yeah, look
yeah.
at that, great job. Gonna tie it up here potentially. So he just calms down, pots the 10 ball. Well done. Goes
Yeah.
to the hill though.
Hill.
Hill thrill.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. These guys are pretty evenly matched. All three of you, actually. And so this is This is what I expected to see today. Close battles, lots of grit, lots of heart. And so far, I have not been disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch over to the player cam. I like to switch it over while these guys rack just to give the viewers a different perspective. And
Oh yeah, you're in here today as a lead commentator, and I like to use in both perspectives myself as well. So yeah, do your thing, and I'm just here for the ride with you, sir. I appreciate you being here and doing what you're doing.
oh, well, it's my pleasure. It's thank you for inviting me. Okay, Darren, set to break rack number 9.
Break and run for Darren, maybe here.
He would certainly love to.
He would.
Unfortunately, breaks dry and turns over control to Brian with a good look at the one here. Lots of options here. Got safety options,
Oh yeah, there's
uh,
lots of politics
lots of
here.
safety options, lots of balls to hide behind, or
I like trying to get it behind the 9 ball. What do you think about getting the cue behind the 9 ball?
putting the cue ball like here.
Yeah, going that direction with it. What do you like then? Is that too tight? What do you feel about that?
I'd be a little concerned about scratching, but I like the cue ball over here,
Okay.
or just make the damn one. Excuse me, the dang one.
Yeah, make another ball and just keep going.
Yeah, why not? He's like, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm just gonna run this out. I actually think the 8 is a little in the way here. I'm gonna, yeah, I don't think he's got a full pocket. He's taking a good look at it here. That looks really tight. Hmm. Yeah. So now oh, he's gonna call it.
I'd call it, but go big and try to draw 2 rails and get it behind is it the 3 ball up there, up table behind him, or the 5 ball.
That's the 3 ball up table. 5 balls right here. But I,
Okay.
but
Yeah. So
I see what
so
you're saying. I do like stunning the cue ball over, over here somewhere. Getting
oh, you
getting
want to go
behind.
over there with it? Okay. So I'm wondering about if you jack up though, and you come through this edge. You know,
Hmm.
as you do that, and hit it thick, and then go this way with it. Does that seem just ridiculous, or just
I see that would send the 4 ball here. Hmm.
yeah?
Yeah, it's not ridiculous. It's I think maybe a little more difficult to execute because
Bec-
if you stun it and float it over this way, you're only traveling a foot or two versus if you're going
oh,
this way
so
and then this
so
way.
what if we go high outside with a little bit of a right and just set it right here?
That works too. I like that too.
Because the 9 gets in the way of the safety, in my opinion, of what you're talking about. Or just make the ball.
I did not think that was gonna go, but look at Brian.
He does that. I told you he does that.
Oh man! Now, do you like the carom, the 5-9 carom into the side here? Because that would.
I, I do not, to be honest, but
Do you
it's
like
there. But
do you like the combo or? Because I think if he,
um,
he if he comes in this way and
yeah,
carom,
no, yeah, I like that one. I'll take that. Yeah, yeah. I was going. I thought you meant the coming in this way, and I didn't like that. No, I see what you mean now. Yeah, no, I like that one. I like
yeah,
because it gives you natural shapes of the 5 ball. Yeah,
exactly.
do that. Yeah,
Just
just do that.
the
Just
5 balls
make
just
it
bounces off.
but it's one of those shots. Just put just. I like to just a hair of bottom on it and just make it feel natural.
Oh wait, we forgot about the three. Oh man, the three's over here.
Yeah,
I
it is.
completely forgot. Yeah. So,
Well, you
oops.
make the three, and then we're just gonna keep going here.
Yeah, there we go. So, never
So
mind all
now it's a
that.
now just make the five, but this does the six go past the 10?
It does. And if we
So
switch, let's switch the cam here. It does look like it goes.
it does.
The nine's gonna
But
make it hard to shape that though, because normally, you'd want to come
yeah,
in this way and then draw back off this cushion and then out,
absolutely,
right?
yeah. But the nine's
But
in the way of that. But
can
what if do we have enough speed to go forward and come this way?
well, maybe there is another shot where if you come in here and you draw into the nine, then you end up caroming off the nine and going out this way. If
I
you
don't
put,
think it's. I think it's too thick to make that happen. But I mean, maybe it works. But
mm, well,
because I think when you make the ball, it no matter how much spin you put on it, it wouldn't get past here.
mm,
I could be wrong, but it might go this way after impact. But I think it's going to fall flat. But you might still get that shot that you were talking about. So it's. I think it's worth the effort to do what you were saying, in my opinion, to see the results. But Darren Darren has what Darren has, right?
yeah, Darren
And
just has to avoid the hook here, and he does.
if Darren gets out here, then me and Brian have to play, and that puts Darren on the hill to where whoever
Mhm.
wins me and Brian's match has to beat Darren twice. It's double elimination, so that'll become the next situation.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oof.
All right, so
Yeah, he ended up
bank shot.
leaving himself a long eight, and yeah,
I'm banking this for shape to the nine to the corner to the side in the corner if it doesn't get there. But
you're
I
banking
like
this to the corner over here.
no, I'm banking it to the side. I'm banking
Oh,
this
on the
eight
side.
ball to the
Oh, I
side.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
like that
banking
shot. The 10 makes
it.
it a big pocket, and just in case you go a little bit long, the 10 will just help it in.
Yep.
But
But no, I like how I can kill the rail all the way and get the eight ball in the pocket and install the cue ball with draw. The way I know how to, I can do this bank to where when that hits there, the cue ball goes this way, and this
mhm.
bank comes off the rail and dies into the pocket. I can. It's from playing one pocket. It's just something I've developed for one pocket where I can just do it. Oh! He
He
called
went
this.
long and
Oh
he gets
Lord!
it. Nice shot.
Good Lord! And now he's gonna drop this in the side. And I just want to hit this about a tip above center, drop it in the side, and take my shape on the eight. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. Just float it up and
Yeah,
land somewhere in this zone,
I'm not
maybe.
even trying to. Yeah. But I'm landing. I'm looking for the zone for my leap as I get down. But I'm judging the ball speed to the pocket so it doesn't fall short, because it's got to impact it just thick and roll through the ball, right?
Looks like
For
he's
this
aiming.
nine to
I
go
mean,
in.
he looks like he's aiming for the corner, and he sure is.
Good
Wow,
Lord!
man.
I'm gonna go home and I'm at home. And
And
he gave
Darren
it
gives it
to
up. Wow.
good night. So now me and Darren is playing.
Okay.
Phenomenal. Just
Yeah, great out there by Brian. Good shooting. Both players, good shooting, and wow.
standing ovation for
Yeah.
Brian, right? Look at
Hey,
those shots he's
yeah.
made.
I was trying to
You
do an
know,
applause.
it's just like I told Darren. It's like Brian will show up and not do so well a lot of times, but every now and then he shows up, and you're just like, who is this guy?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's doing it. I just can just. have a smile and applaud someone playing at that level. Right?
Right.
All right. So I'm gonna sign off of here and leave you alone at your helm and go figure out what these players are doing because I think me and Darren have to play now.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, yeah, it sounds like looks like the rags are on the table with signaling a player break. So I will also take a commentator break and come back shortly.
All right. Talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
Greg.
Or yeah,
Good luck,
take care,
sir.
man.
Play well.